Okay, but picture this. The guy you like starts blowing up your phone, begging to take you to dinner, begging to talk to you on the phone. That scenario exists, sis, and I'm going to tell you 4 non-negotiable ways to make that happen. These are based on the book The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene and also several studies. So use these to your advantage, babe. Number 1, be unpredictable. Remember, a dog is reliable. A seducer is not. When you're unpredictable, it keeps him on his toes. He never knows when he's going to get a text back from you. And when he does, he gets a dopamine rush because he's been ruminating on you and he finally hears from you. This includes not always being available to talk on the phone, not always being available for dinner. And this isn't about playing games because I can hear it in my comments. It's literally about living a well-rounded life that doesn't revolve around men, especially ones who aren't your boyfriends. You should have your fitness routine and your social life and your career, all the things that fill up your cup. And then you naturally just don't have a ton of time for a man until he proves himself worthy of being in your life. That's the price of entry. 2 and 3, they go hand in hand. 2, the first part, is being very missable. When you are very warm, you're very lovely to be with, you're really fun, you're tapping into the nostalgia that all people have, being very playful, then he's going to love spending time with you. But then, part 3, is you have to not be available very often. You have to be missable. If you're on top of each other, there's no one to miss, right? And this is how you move in to live rent-free in here, babe, because you're warm to be with. He wants to be with you all the time, but you're busy, so he can't be with you all the time. And that creates desire. In psychology, it's called intermittent reinforcement. It's when sometimes you get the reward and sometimes you don't. That's why sometimes you text back frequently, sometimes you don't. They did this in studies with pigeons. The pigeons continually peck at the lever because they never know when they're gonna get a reward. It's similar to how slot machines work in Vegas. When sometimes you text back frequently, sometimes you don't, he's gonna be on the edge of his seat wondering when he's gonna get a response from you. The more you can make a man have to earn a spot in your life, the more he will appreciate it once he gets it. That is very empowering because your dream relationship starts in here. Knowing you are worthy of a top tier man, which all of you are, by the way. 4 is detaching. At the end of the day, no matter how great you think this guy is, you were a bad bitch before he came into the picture, and you will be a bad bitch when he leaves it. And how he feels, honestly, truly irrelevant. The less you need a man, the more he needs you. That is the way it always works. If I wrote the Bible, you guys, that would be a verse in it. Just in general, detaching from things that you desire attracts them into your life, whether it be your dream career or a goal, whatever. The less you need it, the more it will come to you. And it's the same way with men. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to schedule a one-on-one with me via the link in my bio.
Rich men like certain types of women. Look at all the rich men and look at their wives. What do they all have in common besides being pretty? What else do they have in common? They're feminine, first and foremost, classy. They're not loud and obnoxious. They shut it up. They don't outshine their husband. That's for damn sure. And even Michelle Obama had to hold back. She had to keep it together. She was like, okay, I'm in public. I can't really. There was a few times she slipped up and looked at him crazy. But you got to keep it together in public, especially. So if you want to marry wealthy, you're going to have to adjust to a lot of things about yourself. Okay? You can't. I remember my friend who was a little ratchet and she ended up marrying wealthy. She had to totally change everything about herself. The way she dressed, the way she wore her hair, the way she spoke, the kind of shoes she wore, the makeup. She had to change it all. How she acted around people, how she spoke to men. She had to change everything. It's not that she changed who she was inside or her personality. It's that she changed who she was around men. There's a difference. Men only approach you to sleep with you. That's it. If anything else comes of it, oh well, that was not their first intention. So a lot of women have these guilt issues, but remember, men approach you for one reason, to see if they can get you and then leave you as quick as possible, unless you trick them into staying or give them a reason to stay. Their first and true intention is only physical. Okay, they are not looking for love. They're not looking for marriage. They ain't looking for none of that. They're just looking to hit it and try to quit. So when you get approached, make sure you understand that. When you get approached, make sure it's a game from start. And make sure you win that game. Okay. A lot of people are not, a lot of people who are making these types of videos now, they skip over the truth. They skip over how men are only out to get one thing. They skip over, how someone can treat you well, but then go and sleep with the next chick down the street, aka pick Misha, and come right back to you. They skip over how, how being extra feminine and is not going to keep you from getting cheated on. Period. Okay. What you got to know is the game. Anybody can act and be feminine. That's easy. Okay. The game is what's hard. So if you find yourself in an entanglement with someone who's playing games with you, make sure that you're on the upper side of the game, on the winning side. I can teach you all day how to act and why this woman is that and why this woman, but it don't matter if she's going to get gamed. She can be as feminine as she wants. If she gonna get the bad end of the stick, it don't matter. Okay? Like, I'm in it to win it. Men don't approach you because they see you in a white wedding dress with a veil on, walking down the aisle, carrying their baby. No, they see you as a physical pleasure receptacle. And if you allow yourself to become that in a short amount of time, that's exactly how they're going to see you. So get that money, make them wait. You can be as feminine as you like, but don't replace common sense with stupidity.
Why men fall in love when you do nothing. Number 3, it's going to sound funny. It's called please come to my concert syndrome. I'm going to describe to you a scenario, and I'm going to connect it to everything that we're talking about here today. There's 2 types of concerts. So the first concert is a local concert held by, a guy that went to your high school. And he's messaging you, DMing you on Instagram. He's saying, yo, my concert happening July 25th. Can you please attend that? I want you to come to can you come to my concert? And he's spamming you with messages every single day for a month. Please come to my concert. Can someone come to my concert? We still got a whole bunch of seats. There's only been 10 seats filled. Please, anyone come to the concert. It's free. There's no entry. And you're like, ew, this is so gross. I'm probably going to avoid opening this message so I don't get secondhand embarrassment. Now, I also want you to imagine scenario number 2, in which there is also a concert by the same genre of music. Let's just say it's hip hop, but this time it's a Drake concert. Drake doesn't message you personally to ask you to come to his concert. Drake posts on his story or on his page, I'm having a concert July 25th. Done. He doesn't even ask you to come. And you're scrambling and you're like, oh my God, Drake's concert. Oh my God, where's the link? Where's the link? Stacey, where's the link to the concert? But Drake didn't invite you personally to his concert. Drake didn't have to ask you to come to his concert. In fact, Drake doesn't even know who you are. But you really want to go to his concert. In a very weird way, people can take up emotional space. It kind of forces you to back off of that emotion. So what I mean by that is, if Drake were begging you to go to his concert, he takes up the emotional space where you really want to go to this concert, because it stops being about you really desperately wanting to go to Drake's concert, and it starts being more about Drake begging you to go to his concert. So now you're deciding, do you want to go to this concert or not? But you see, when Drake just posts this concert and he doesn't care about whether you come or not, you now have space emotionally to say, I really desperately want to go to this concert. Do you kind of see how that works? And so what I mean by concert, right, in the analogy, I'm referring to taking you out on dates and wanting to spend more time with you. See, the more you're like, please spend more time with me, you take up that emotional space where he can't say, I want to spend more time with you. So the art of doing nothing is so amazing, because when you give guys that space to just chill out and realize within themselves that they want to spend more time with you, they're actually able to say, I want to spend more time with you.
Women that aren't that emotional don't care about silent treatment. It's just free time to do what she wants without having to deal with talking to someone. The reason why men give y'all silent treatment is because it emotionally affects y'all. If it doesn't emotionally affect y'all, they won't give you silent treatment. And if they do, you won't even notice and you'd be unbothered or thankful. Because a lot of times, like women that are overly emotional, they notice every little single thing about what their man is doing to them and they're trying to manipulate them and play games with them emotionally. A woman that does not care and stays unbothered emotionally won't even notice. They'll just continue along what they're doing on their day-to-day and not even blink an eye. If you're going to notice it, if you're going to feel some sort of way about it, that's why they continue to do it. It's up to you whether you allow yourself to be emotionally pulled in by how they act, or you just go do what you normally do. Don't care. It's like, oh, okay, well, you must be tired today. Maybe you're a little bit sleepy. Well, take some vitamins and I'll see you later. If they're not talking to you, who cares?
What if I told you that men are the most in love with you when you're not there? But what if I also told you that using absence to your advantage can get him to fall in love with you without you even being there? If that sounds confusing to you, don't worry. On today's live show, we'll be discussing why men fall in love with your absence. That way you can perfectly understand why taking a step back might be the best thing you ever do for his attraction to you. Join the show.
What's your take on going through your man's phone? Don't do it unless you're ready to get up and leave. Because you know you're gonna find something. If you're not gonna leave, if all you're gonna do is start an argument so that he has an excuse to get up and go out and see whoever it is in his phone again, then don't even do it. I'd say take some screenshots, get all the dirt you can get on him, and make your plan from there. Or go find you a sugar daddy and don't let him find out about it. But if you're gonna go through his phone and you're not gonna do anything but start mess and you're not gonna leave, then don't even bother. Okay. Right. And if he can't go through your phone, then you need to leave his phone alone. Honestly, you know why? Because who cares? He ain't married to you. He ain't your husband, and you're not just giving him your phone. And if you are, something wrong with you. Okay. Always make sure any man that you end up with, seriously, in a relationship or married to, loves you more, always, a lot more, not just a little more, but a lot more. If you want a good life and a good marriage and a good relationship, he has to love you more. I don't care. That's just how it has to be. Otherwise, the power will shift eventually. Okay, there cannot be a balance because eventually the power will shift. There has to be an advantage from the start. Okay? So, if you're trying to find equal love, equal partners, 50-50, I gotta love you mutually, nope. Because the one who loves you the most is the one you should marry, or the one you should stay with. Okay? Now, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what men say, because of course they don't want to be in that situation. They've been in that situation for most of their lives. The woman always loves them more because women are trained to put themselves last. So if you want to learn something or anything from Meghan Markle, the royal wedding, y'all know that Prince Harry loved her way more. Y'all can see it. Y'all can tell. And that's royalty, right? She got him to love her more. That's how you got to do it. Make sure when you're dating someone, you're not the last priority. If you are, you know what that means? Next. Men like toxic, sprinkle, sprinkle. Right? If y'all haven't realized by now, men like toxic women. They get bored of the nice women and they go look for the toxic women. No matter what you heard, no matter what they're saying, they like toxic women. No matter if a man says, I don't like kids or animals, once you bring them animals and the kids in the house, they're going to love them. Okay? Don't listen to them. Stick to your plans. Stop asking too many questions. Stop being nice. Stop being too considerate. Do what you want. Use reverse psychology and create the world and the lifestyle that you want. Yes, the guy is going to be there, but he's going to think it was his idea, so it's all good. You'll be fine. He'll be fine, okay? And guys like it when you do that. They don't say it, but they do. They really do. So stop asking too many questions. Do you like kids? Do you like animals? No, it doesn't matter if they like them or not. Do you like them? Then he gonna like them if he like you. There you go. That's it. Do I like football? Do I like sports? Heck no. I still don't like them, but I tolerate them. I put up with them, on the TV and stuff like that. I don't care. I'm not gonna be like, I don't care.
Also, make big promises, Makocha-san. When you're dealing with a man, make huge promises, catastrophes, create scenarios, give him plans, projections about the future. And actually, when the time comes, and deliver absolutely nothing. Deliver the roots of diddly squats, 0. No contribution to team efforts, not whatsoever. Teamwork, not individual work all the way to him, not to you. Not teamwork, as Bambi saying, it's all about you. Just promise heaven on earth and then deliver hell. Absolutely nothing. 0, zilch, nada, prada. Honestly. It's that simple. You just say, oh no, when we get home, I'm going to sit on your face. And when you get home, you actually just get in bed and you sleep. It's that simple. Oh, I can't wait to see you. Then when you actually see him, you are bored the whole time. Play the game. That's the name of the game. Confuse the shit out of him. And he's like, huh? But he thinks, what is going on? What is this one doing? Play it safe. Confuse him. Fuck with these wires. Because bafana bajwayelana kabi. Umkhombisa umthanda kakhulu. Uvela kujwayele.
I cannot tell you how much guys love when girls do this. I'm telling you, if you do this, you might get wifed up within the next few months. Maximum a few years. If you as a woman can provide nothing but peace to a man's life, especially when his life is in absolute chaos, business is going crazy, there's fires to put out, there's things going on with maybe his friends or his family, whatever that chaos may look like. If you can bring him peace in his life during these moments, that man is not only going to fall in love with you, but he is going to respect the hell out of you. And if a man respects you, you pretty much, you have him. Love comes and goes, but respect, I'm telling you, if you can earn his respect, I'm serious. It's a big one. And all you need to do is just bring him peace. It's actually not that hard to bring someone peace, but it does require you to have some self-awareness and obviously be very creative in the way that you're going to create that peace for him. So yeah, use this information as you wish, and as always, have an amazing day.
Ladies, the energy that you need to be giving off on your dates in the early stages of dating to keep a guy hooked is this. Welcome to the Daddy Academy. It's, I like you right now, but there's a bunch of other guys that are out here that want to take me out. And if you mess up, you're gone. You're not gonna say that, but it's with this sort of confident, sexy attitude. A little sassy. Guys a little crazy, a little sassy. Just that little sassy playfulness and that confidence, okay? Prize mentality, right? If you hold that space, and honestly, fake it until you fucking make it. If you don't have that yet, which is fine, it takes time to develop that sort of internal thought process about yourself. Pretend you're somebody else and act as if you are. Because it will still work. It will still work, but you have to force yourself to think this way. If you're easy going, go with the flow. Yeah, let's go for a walk date. Let's go for a coffee date. No, let's hang out today, tomorrow, the next day. No, you're done. You're done. You're on the roster. He's going to bang town you and dump you. It's that continuation of we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how you end up behaving. We'll see how this goes. We'll see. Because then a guy who's serious about you is going to want to prove it. He's going to want to win. Okay, men like to pursue. They like to win, like to achieve, right? So you want to keep that guy like a cat, and you kind of dangle the little toy in front of them and and they try to get it. That's what it's like. You don't want him to get it. You want to keep teasing him. And through that process, you're allowing time to go by. And through that time, That is when you start to develop a natural, genuine connection with somebody. If you guys hang out 7 times in 2 weeks and you bang and you bang and you bang, that's an infatuation, and he's gonna get over you real quick. You want to create that space and that like that. I want to get to know her more. I want to see her more. And through that little teasing game, that is how you create that, that pursuit out of a man. And then if there is a really genuine connection, within a month, you guys are both going to feel it. And then this game can subside a little bit. But like, you need to hold this game in this space for at least a month to really have a guy coming correct and making sure that you're protecting yourself from men who just want casual, quick bang town and will leave you.
My dad told me something today that I will never forget. He told me about the philosophy called amor fati, which means the love of fate. In other words, accepting everything as it is right now in your life and deciding to love it and accept it as things that are happening for a reason. Obviously, in our lives, there are things that happen at given times and we're like, why would this happen? Or this is hard, or this isn't going the way that I want it to go. But this philosophy states, what if we just decide, I'm going to accept this. I'm going to choose to love everything that's presenting in my life, whether it looks the way I want it to look or whether it doesn't. And I'm going to believe firmly this is serving me in some way. If it's showing up in my life, it is serving me in some way. And it might not be in the way that I thought. I feel like things might be going wrong, but that's based off my limited perspective. But if I decide to love my fate, that means I love what's happening right now, because maybe, just maybe, it's the soil that's helping me grow. Maybe it's getting me from point A to point B. Maybe a story so much better than my own cognitive understanding is being blossomed out of this present moment. I choose to love the now. I choose to love my fate and trust in the fate that's unfolding on behalf of my beautiful life. Amor fati.
I'm not worried about him cheating with somebody. He was going to do that to any woman he was with, and any man that you were with was also going to do that to you. Don't overreact. Just understand that first. I have the master plan years in advance in my mind already. I don't see tomorrow. I don't see today. I see years from now. And years from now, I see life insurance policy. I see 401k. I see that bank account. I see stocks and bonds and whatever else. I see trust funds for the kids, deeds, investments, or whatever. Pension, right? So if you go into any relationship not getting attached emotionally if they should cheat, and you already have your game plan in place, waiting on that one thing to happen or planning on that one thing to happen or not caring if it happens because it's going to benefit you, then you're always going to win. Always. Back in the old days, they stayed together and worked it out. And then the wife is at the funeral in her beautiful black clothes and sunglasses with the pill hat on, smoking a cigarette like this. And she wins at the end. Women always win at the end if they are smart instead of emotional.
Making a man worry about losing you is so simple, you guys. And I boiled it down into 5 easy steps. These are all based on the book, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Number 1, aim your flattery specifically at somebody's insecurities, because then it hits a lot deeper. So if a man feels really secure about the business he's built, for example, and you continually compliment him on that, it doesn't hit as much because he already feels the same way. But if he's insecure about his intelligence level, for example, and you comment, you're so smart, you're such a good leader, wow, then it hits a lot deeper, and I'm telling you, it makes you stand out from 99% of women. 2, keep somebody in suspense. You guys, life is boring enough, and you do not want your dating life to be boring as well. When you are spontaneous, you become a rare breed of woman, and it also makes you very difficult to replace. Man feels like he can't predict your behavior. It keeps him on the edge of his seat, almost like a really good movie where you want to know what happens next. 3, giving a man a small gift so that he thinks about you throughout the day. You want to be careful with this, because if you give too big of a gift too early in the relationship, He's going to assume that you're overcompensating for a lack of something. So like a lack of depth or maybe a lack of morals. But something really small that he's going to see throughout his day, it could be like a plant or a paperweight or a photo. It's going to remind him of you. And the more on his mind you are, the more obsessed he gets. And for whatever it's worth, some of my guy friends have told me this feedback as well. And they've said it means a lot because so few women take the time to do these little thoughtful gifts. I think because as women, we don't want to be too much, but it really stands out to a guy if it's done in the right way. So a small gift, low cost, but very meaningful. 4, play to temptation, but in a very specific way. Here's where a lot of women get it wrong. Because there is enough temptation every day. It's about the food we eat and what we watch on TV, all these things. There's enough temptation. What people really yearn for is to yield to temptation, to not constantly have to resist it. You could easily do this on a first date if you're like, oh, we shouldn't kiss, but here we go. You know, you're giving him, oh, well, we shouldn't. You're building the temptation, but you're releasing it by giving into it. And that also makes him feel very special, which all men and their egos love to feel special. 5, the last one, is to be mysterious, almost like a riddle that he has to solve. It literally makes somebody addicted to you. They want to know the end of that story. Mysteries are intriguing. I don't know why so many people think it's like a great thing to be an open book. It actually takes a lot of practice to have a filter surrounding the words that come out of your mouth. When you are mysterious, people wonder about you when you're not around. They ruminate on the things you said. It also makes men project fantasies onto you because now they have to fill in the gaps of who you are because they don't automatically know. A great way to do this is to add in conflicting information. So if the whole dinner you sat there and you acted like an angel, add in a few hints of like devilish comments, and then his head is like, wait, I thought she was an angel. I thought I had it figured out. Now she's saying something contradictory. Oh my God, I need to know more. I need to spend more time with her so I can figure out this riddle. It's about working smarter and not harder. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to schedule a one-on-one with me via the link in my bio.
Manifesting $10 million is as easy as manifesting $1. There is no difference between manifesting $1 and manifesting $10 million. At the end of the day, it's money. The amount doesn't matter. It's still money. $10 million isn't any different than...
You're 27 and you feel like you wasted your 20s. Okay. You're 27. What do you want? You have to make a goal. Your dating life has to make sense on paper. All right. You got to have a clear and distinct direction that you're wanting to go when you date. Or do you want a social climb? Do you want to date someone rich? You got to decide these things because it's going to determine where you're going, what you're dressing like, what you're looking like, what circles you're going to run in, what type of new friends or associates that you're going to make. This is all how you have to think. It is strategy, not emotional. You're not going to meet someone and sparks are going to fly. You're going to strategically put yourself in a position to meet the type of person that you want that's going to give you the lifestyle that you want so that you can live accordingly. You're going to create the life that you want. You're not going to accept what walks in your path. So write that down because that's the truth. You got to know what you're doing from the start. What makes them want to marry you? When you're calm and not an emotional wreck or a drama queen, when they have a sense of peace around you, when they can see themselves with you on a very long term, when they feel like they don't have anything to worry about. Thank you, colleague, sprinkle, sprinkle. So if you're full of ups and downs and dramas and, just crazy stuff, they're not going to see peace with you. Men seek peace and solace, and they seek a woman that is easy to be around. So if that's not you, you need to change it. Right. So be a peaceful person. Be very agreeable. Be very soft-spoken. Allow him to lead you, like as far as when he not lead like lead you to the poorhouse, but lead you as far as um, laughing at his jokes and playing dumb around him. Oh, that's very interesting. Wow. Don't talk down to him in public. Don't embarrass him in public. Don't try to outdo him or correct him or anything like that. They don't like that in life. They want to brag about you. They want their friends to envy them for being with you. They want peace. They want their friends to think they got you in line and that you're the perfect wife and da 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 da. That's what a man seeks when he seeks marriage. He doesn't seek crazy, over emotional, erratic, ratchet. He doesn't seek that. Okay? Don't interrupt him when he's talking. Exactly.
If there is someone or something you're obsessed with, you need to hear this story. This man is Neville Goddard. He was a cosmic philosopher that told a story that made me believe and start applying the law of assumption to my life, and I saw immediate results. I'm going to paraphrase that story. I've told it before, but I'm going to tell it again. The story proved to me that anybody can manifest anything. The year is 1933. There's a Great Depression. Millions of people are out of work. In the summer months, there were long lines for free coffee and bread. At the time, Neville Goddard was working as a dancer on Broadway. He was used to doing 50 to 60 shows a year, but because nobody had money and everybody was out of work, he was only doing 5 or 6. So he had no money. He was living in a basement, but he kept dreaming about going back to Barbados, where he was born and where his family lived. Because Neville Goddard doesn't have any money, he's spending a lot of time hanging out with his neighbor, Abdullah. And in October of that year, he's at Abdullah's house, and he tells Abdullah that he wants to be back in Barbados. He's been obsessing over it. He was there last in 1922, but hasn't been back since, so it's been 11 years. Abdullah says, "You are in Barbados." Neville Goddard says, "No, I'm not. I'm in New York." And Abdullah says, "No, you're in Barbados. You're noticing the depression from Barbados. You're seeing all the little homes in Barbados. You're smelling the tropical breeze in Barbados. You are in Barbados. And you sleep tonight knowing that you're in Barbados. It's not an opinion, it's a fact." And Neville Goddard's like, "Okay, man, I think you're crazy." But he goes home that night and he sleeps that night pretending he's in Barbados. America is 2,000 miles away. A week goes by, nothing happens. He goes back to Abdullah's house and he knocks on the door. Abdullah opens it and he says, "I'm still thinking about Barbados. I want to be there." And Abdullah slams the door in his face. He goes over there 3 more times, and each time he says, "I want to be back in Barbados." And each time Abdullah slams the door in his face. Finally, he says, "How can I talk to you about going to Barbados if you're already in Barbados?" He says, "You're not being faithful to your assumption. Assume that you're in Barbados." So about 2 months later, on December 4th of that year, there's a letter under his door. He opens the letter, and the letter's from his brother. His brother, Cecile, has enclosed $50, and it's a letter that says, "I know that you don't have any money, so here's $50 for a pair of shoes, a pair of pants, and a ticket to Barbados. I'd like to spend Christmas together. We haven't been together as a family in a while, and I know you're not working, so you have no excuse not to be here." He's so excited, he rushes to get a ticket, and they say, "We can get you a ticket, but we only have 3rd class available." He's still excited, he takes the ticket, and he rushes over to Abdullah's house, and he says, "You're never going to believe what happened. I'm going to Barbados. I'm going 3rd class to Barbados." And Abdullah says, "No, you went 1st class to Barbados." A few days later, he goes to board, and he gives his ticket to the ticket agent, and they say, "Actually, we have a cancellation, and you're actually going to go 1st class." So he goes there, 10 days back, and he spent Christmas with his brother in Barbados. And in Abdullah's rudeness, he taught him something important, that in order to be successful at manifesting anything, you need to already assume that you're already doing it. So when people came up to him and said, "I'd love to be happily married," he would say, "You are happily married. Go to sleep with a ring on your finger." People said he was crazy, but he maintained that in order to do anything, you have to act as if you're already in that state. This is how the law of assumption works. Follow for more like this.